Hey Bulldog fans, welcome into this week's edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up, presented by Alabama Power. I'm John McAfoose today, happy to be joined by Cody Jackson, Assistant AD for Compliance, talking NIL and the transfer portal, among some other things. Cody, appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, start by telling us a little bit about what brought you to Samford, and a lot of people, probably even people that work here, don't realize that you've actually put in two separate stints here with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so this is my second time. It's interesting whenever people ask how long I've been here, I usually say, 8 years, but 6 this time around. I started at the University of Alabama as just a graduate intern. Jonathan Bowling, who's now at Texas A&M, gave me my shot there. Was able to take that into an internship here at Samford, roll that into a coordinator position for a couple of years. Went from here to my undergrad alma mater, MTSU, was there for a year as the coordinator as well, and then was able to come back here to navigate us through some things as the director of compliance, and then just a couple years ago was elevated to assistant AD. So it's interesting to have 2 stints at one place, but have still been here for so long.
Well, NIL is certainly the hot topic in all of college athletics right now, especially if you're working in compliance. Just talk a little bit about how NIL has changed the landscape of college athletics.
It is in a good way completely upended collegiate athletics. We're now able to allow our student athletes to use their name, their image, their likeness to profit off of commercials, social media posts, advertisements, camps, clinics, you name it. They're able to use their personalities, their standings as student athletes, and finally be able to make a little bit of money that's probably been owed to them for a long time.
How have the Samford student athletes done with NIL so far?
We thought in July that it was just going to be floodgates. We were all just prepared for deals left and right. We had our first one at 12:15 a.m. on July 1st. But it's been a steady flow of deals. We're about 15 weeks into NIL right now, and we've had almost 100 deals total for our student athletes. Close to $15,000 total that our student athletes have earned. Some from our smallest deals of $3 to upwards of $2,000 for some of our kids. So they're doing really well. I'm happy to see that they're able to take advantage and use their platform to grow their marketability and make a little bit of money on the side.
And I know some of the rules and laws vary from state to state. How do some of the Alabama state laws differ from the NCAA stance?
Yeah, so the NCAA kind of washed their hands of it once July hit. Weren't able to come up with any sort of national standard. Obviously, Congress has a lot more going on than working on the NIL landscape, so they left it up to the states. So we are one of the states that has a state law that guides our NIL policy. It's what our university policy is based off of. So it's a double-edged sword. We're able to use that as a guideline and understanding of, okay, this is new waters, this is new territory where we're not sure what things are going to be like, but at least we have this law already in place to kind of guide us. I was pleasantly surprised how quickly the Alabama state legislature moved this through. It was maybe 6 weeks from beginning to end, from when it was introduced to signed by Governor Ivey. So I'm thankful that we were able to get a state law in place, because it did give us some guidance and be able to balance our policy off of that.
Do you see any other major changes in the future with NCAA, or anything kind of coming in the near-term future?
Yeah. So on top of NIL, on top of the transfer portal changes from last year, the national office is changing their constitution. And we're looking at essentially what's going to be a 2-part deal, where first we're going to figure out what the NCAA should look like going forward, and then from a divisional landscape, how that's going to look and how that's going to affect divisions 1, 2, and 3. So we're looking for a lot of legislative change, a lot of foundational change. From some surveys I've seen, people want the NCAA to still promote amateurism, to promote championships, to promote fair play, that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to stay, but there's a lot of legislative pieces that will probably change in the next 12, 18, 24 months.
The transfer portal, you touched on it briefly there, but just talk about the impact that's had.
Yeah, so we thought until NIL was going to come up that the transfer portal was going to be the biggest change. Allowing our student athletes to transfer once, enter that transfer portal and go, rather than restricting those transfers, and then this year added on with basketball, football, baseball, and then men's ice hockey for other institutions to transfer once without any sort of penalty, to add those into what all of our other sports had. It was great to get a level playing field for everyone, but it's been a change for sure. You know, we're still navigating, trying to get our coaches educated, our student athletes educated on their options for transferring. You know, I tell them in all of our squad meetings when we go over transfer stuff that inevitably amongst 390 plus student athletes, we're going to lose some of you. We certainly don't want to. We love getting transfers in. You know, they're usually program changers when we get them in, and we love to have them, but certainly don't want to lose them. But we do whatever we can to make sure that they're educated and can make the best decision for themselves and for their future.
Well, Cody, appreciate your time. Thanks for everything you do for Samford Athletics.
Appreciate it.
Assistant AD for Compliance, Cody Jackson. I'm John McAfoose. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up, presented by Alabama Power.